If you're reapplying to medicine or dentistry right now, the worst thing that you can do is assume that you didn't get in the last cycle because you were unlucky. Just as a thought experiment, imagine that you were literally the best possible candidate out there. If you could have a score out of 100 for your application, it was a full-on 100. Do you really think that that person would get 0 offers or 0 invitations to interview? I've sat on interview panels and I can tell you for sure that if someone is really that good, they are almost too good to say no to. So there is a potential to get to that stage. And on the Future Doc program, we see it every year. We get people who've had 1, 2, 3, sometimes even more failed attempts, and they come to us for help. And we can see straight away what they're doing that's incorrect, or maybe not incorrect, but not optimal, and how you can fix it. So I'm going to go through some of those common things that people do and the mistakes that they make and the changes that they can implement to elevate their application to make this time the time that they get in. So the first thing to realize that effort usually isn't the problem. You should be trying really hard, but usually it's not that they're not trying hard enough, it's that they're trying hard on the wrong things. So understanding where to place your focus and what matters and what doesn't, or maybe the way that you prepare for the UCAT or whatever the effort that you're putting into. Sometimes you may be just kind of like running west looking for a sunrise. You know, we need to understand that we aligned our effort and the amount of effort that we're putting in with putting it into the right sort of things. Because almost all of the reapplicants that come to us, they'll say something like, I worked really hard last year. But that's really where the issue is. What matters is where the effort went, when it was applied, and whether it fixed the real weaknesses in the application, and whether it addressed the really important things that you actually need to place the priority on. The second part is that your application must stand out. So whether it is your achievements, your academics, your UCAT score, we need something to get you in front of the interview panel. Now, what I always say to my students that I'm teaching is that interview preparation starts now, because it's the same thing that is going to get you through the door as well as the thing that's going to get you past interview. So that same thing that's going to help you stand out is going to help you have great things to write about in your personal statement. Usually it means a wealth of experience, which will mean how well you do in the ethics section of the UCAT when you see it in practice. And basically, when you get to interview, that's what I said about before, when we see people and we know they're the real deal, that's the kind of thing we want to see. So like I said before, it really is about understanding the key areas to place your focus on and making sure that we excel in those. So having a really good wealth of work experience, getting a really good UCAT score, and preparing the right way. So many people struggle year after year because they don't really understand how to prepare for the UCAT properly. And often when we're guiding people, that is one of the big things that clicks. The next thing, I mean, personal statement is varied depending on where you're applying, but still matters. And then also just choosing the right universities and getting finally past interview. Those are the big things that we need to focus on. But I think it's the way that people approach them usually that isn't quite right. And usually by just switching a few things around, that's how you can fix it. The third thing I would say is that reflection really matters, right? Reflection is a really important part of, like I say, part of the application itself, but it's deeper than that. It's about how badly do you want it? Because I know the people who have, you know, kept reapplying 2, 3, 4 times. I know their mentality and they really, really want it. You can argue that they want it more than the people who got in first time, because a lot of the people who don't get in first time, that's it, they'll not apply again and they'll choose a different career. And you could argue, you know, those people who did get in, but in that camp of if they wouldn't have got in the first time, they wouldn't have applied again. You've got to question how badly they want it. Whereas when you don't get in for a first time and you're reapplying, reflecting on that and really understanding, do I really want this? Is this a career that I really want to go into? Am I willing to sacrifice? Often these sorts of people, you know, they will go on with more grit, more determination. They will be better doctors because of it, because they really want it badly enough. I think one of the things to understand alongside this is that if you didn't get in first time, it's not necessarily because you're not good enough or won't make a good doctor. Some of the best doctors I know didn't get in first time, and I wouldn't say that necessarily your ability to get through the application process is directly related to how well you'll do as a doctor. I think there are different sets of things. Obviously, the interview and the application process is trying to work out who is right for that, but it's the same thing with jobs. People who often are good at interviews aren't necessarily good at jobs and vice versa. So I wouldn't kind of take it too much to heart if you haven't got through the process. It's just a game that you need to learn how to play. And that's why I always say, if you're struggling, come to the Future Doc program. We have helped so many people who have had several attempts and then come to us and got in first time, because we're kind of like the coach, you know, we can see things from the 30,000 foot view, and we can see what you're doing wrong, see what you need to be putting your focus on. You know, a good coach will do that for you. So that's what the aim of that program is to help you get there without, you know, having to break your back this time. But the final mistake and things that reapplicants really need to think about is that they often leave it too early. This is what I mean about them not being necessarily not good enough. It's just that sometimes one of the big mistakes that I see reapplicants do is that they have left it way too late. So they're perfectly capable of doing everything. They just don't quite understand what they need to do, and also don't allow enough time. So they kind of do everything in a rush and do everything but badly. And again, you know, we need to be in the top 10% to take control of the application. And if you're not doing things right, you won't be there. So starting early and having a focused, steady approach towards how you tackle this whole run up to the application and the application itself, submitting it, and how you prepare for interviews after that. All of that is so important, and we need to, like I say, take a very clear, methodical approach to do that. So remember, just because you didn't get in doesn't mean that you're a failure. I love that quote of success is going from failure to failure without losing enthusiasm. It's just a signal to pick yourself back up, reevaluate, and go again stronger this time just by changing your approach. Because reapplying isn't failure, but going about it the same way again and again is. So again, if you'd like our help, you can check out the Future program here. Otherwise, if you want more materials to help you understand what to focus on, how to approach each of the key steps, and just how to make this year the one that counts, check out this video here. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.